Anjul Bhambri, the VP of Big Data at IBM. Anjul, IBM has invested huge amounts of money and resources in the development of Watson. Obviously, it's an interesting media story, great story about Watson being on jeopardy. But why really is IBM doing this? What's the goal here? Why all this investment of time and money in such a sophisticated artificial intelligence engine?
So a very good question, Andrew. And if you, obviously with Watson, what IBM and a lot of people working at IBM have shown to the world is that these are the possibilities that exist where if we can tap into this large amount of data that is around us, if we can feed that data in, look at it in a combined manner, run analytics on it, then it can actually give us the right answers to problems very quickly, right? And this obviously applies to a lot of industries where without these kind of capabilities, there are certain problems which would be very difficult to tackle. For example, if we look at some of the technologies that were used to build Watson have been the underpinnings of our Smarter Planet initiative, where we worked with like the city of Stockholm, for example, in solving their traffic congestion problem. Again, it's a lot of data that is coming in from like GPS devices, from traffic lights or the microprocessors that are put in the traffic lights. And being able to process all this volume of data in real time and be able to SMS and text message the commuters that are subscribing to a service like that and say which route to take versus which route not to take and save them time, which is very important in real time is something how we see how this technology can really be so close to what we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And at the same time, a lot of this data is being used by city planners to improve their road transportation system for the future. So there is an aspect of being able to consume a lot of this data, make some decisions in a real-time manner and really help people, and be able to improve things by doing predictive analytics on this kind of data and improve life in the future. This is one example from a traffic congestion thing. We are seeing a lot of applications of this like in the healthcare arena, where again there is a lot of, like we've done work with the University of Ontario in Canada, where it's technologies which were used with, underneath Watson have been used in the neonatal center, and where a lot of, again, data, almost like 1,000 pieces of information per second about newborn babies is being processed, and doctors are using it to be able to predict, an onset of an infection in a newborn baby 24 hours in advance. So we see this technology being used to really save life, where it is so important that you be able to make a decision at the right time, and not after the fact. And that is where I think what Watson can do is just amazing. And the possibilities that it opens up, I think there's a lot that we are, as IBMers, are hoping that students and customers and business partners will look at this and will come up with even better uses of this technology than what we have shown as an example.
What about the natural language applications? How valuable is natural language in the natal care example you gave, or the traffic example?
So, on the healthcare side, right, doctors being able to ask a question in natural language and get the right answer is very important.
So doctors are essentially talking to the computer.
So if they, yes.
In real time, as they are operating or not operating. as they're with the patient.
That's the idea,
Oh,
right? That's the possibility. So, you know, with data, like just to give an example from a databases standpoint, right? There is a certain kind of a language in which questions have to be asked, and then you get the data back. And how many people possess those skills of being able to, you know, ask, unless they have a computer science degree or something, they can't just ask those questions. With this whole natural language thing, you know, now the entire humanity.
So you're really in the business of humanizing data.
That's a very good way of you know, putting it. That yes, if we, you know, like what's happened with, say, search, for example, right? You know, your 7-year-old, 8-year-old knows to go to Google, ask a question, and they get an answer.
Right.
Now, analytics, on the other hand, has always been that you have to have these, you know, some higher level of degrees, whether it's computer science or something, to be really able to build applications where you can, you know, solve problems which require you to, you know, look at a lot of data, kind of see what is the data telling you. But if you can make it like what we are trying to do is ask a question and you get an answer. Of course, underneath the covers, there's still work of a lot of computer scientists to make it happen. But, you know, how do we de-skill it that the consumer or the end user doesn't have to understand all of that? For them, it's a natural thing. They're used to asking questions, and now they're getting an answer back.
Well, remember, if you use the tagline, humanizing data, you need to credit me.
Yes.